I'll move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So carried. No audience items. First item of business is to elect a chairperson for 2019.
I nominate Kelly.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. The election of a chairperson pro tem for 2019.
I like Josh. Lovely, not Reed.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried.
See, I'd be quick in there. Yeah. Say that right away. And
I told you. All right. Open discussion regarding park improvements and prioritization. Your packet has a few maps and things in there, as well as quotes from Snyder and Associates costs. Do we want to? I'll just open it up, I guess, for questions regarding any of this stuff.
Should we start with like Doc Simmer?
Yeah. So Doc Simmer, the quote is for 2 picnic tables on pre-poured pads. Finish out phase 1.
did we put the pads in already?
Pads
When we did the other concrete work, right?
Yep.
$1,000 each?
Yeah.
Ooh. Went to that much.
And that's something that if someone wants to do one in Memorial, they would just call city. But is that something we can, I don't know how you would advertise it, or, like if you advertise it once, you're probably not catching, people at the right time necessarily, but just sending something to different organizations or something like that? Or do you feel like people just come to you and want something? I don't know. I had a Girl Scout troop telling me, if there's anything you need with parks, just let us know. But
Wow,
I feel
that's a good
like,
timing.
right, but I feel
Open
like
invitation.
they need to kind of come with ideas too and not wait to be presented. So I was just kind of speaking like, how do we get that information out to people? Like, if you want to do something, don't wait to be asked.
When somebody adds a bench, like I think we've got some that are in the square that have in memory of, do they just come to the city and say they want to do that normally? So it's not anything for.
Right, they do, but the town square, they no longer do that. It's full. But like I say, the other parks definitely have some. So, but yeah, they have to go through the city first, and then they purchase the bench, and then we try to get the same benches as what we have here, and then the plaque. They'll tell us what the word is, then we'll the plaque for through P&M. Generally, we like that on a concrete pad too, so they don't have to mow around us.
Any questions, concerns on Simmer?
Was there any talk or anything about doing anything for the parking up there, whether it's gravel or?
Mike and I were talking about that now that there's a home in there, and I think there's discussions of another house going next to it. It's nothing concrete by any means, but
Sure.
we had talked about when we have an asphalt overlay project for the whole city. We're going to try to maybe combine some of that with that parking lot.
Okay.
But like I said, there's no timetable on that. So, but yeah, eventually we'd love to hard surface that.
Yeah, if we've got crews already doing something in that area,
Right.
they just
Right.
dump their leftovers.
Right, and that's all old asphalt up there too. That would fall
Yeah.
right in line with everything else.
Off the dry though, I didn't know there was a new house up there.
Yeah, it's they're already moved in.
I don't even know.
Anything else? All right, moving on to Westlake is next. You see the plan there. I believe the portable restroom enclosure is in, if I'm not mistaken. And then the quote on the back page is for concrete miscellaneous structure and seating.
The seating may not be quite so high. That was kind of a combination of the old in part of phase 1. So I actually pulled some of the seating out of there already.
Okay.
And then some things were added in phase 1 that didn't make it, and then we took a couple things out that we didn't need. So that's kind of the best guesstimate of what's left up there. Like the two park entry signs are on there, and then we have benches on there now too to go with that plate.
So the park entry signs, I'm assuming one would be, oh, right there, I see it, right on the corner of Falcon and Broadway, and then,
The other one would be over,
Yep.
what is that, Lost Lake Drive, or what
Yep.
is that, other side?
trees, and I try to run up and tell them to line up all up against the back of my property, so I
There you
don't
go.
have to, but. And are they just kind of spitballing just a general structure for the 65,000?
That's generally, Schneider does their due diligence on trying to find concrete numbers a person can work with. So what you're looking at there is probably a budgetary number. Could be probably less if I had to
Depending
guess.
on what we had.
Yeah. Really, to finish out phase two, you know, it's basically the playground to finish out that one off.
So pending funding, we think phase two could be started like summer and beyond.
So the whole point of this exercise is just to go over what you guys feel is your priorities for the parks in general. As of right now, there is no budget numbers prepared for fiscal 20. Right now we're in fiscal 19. There's no money allocated for these park improvements for 19. So for 20, when the council does their work sessions, it would be nice that you guys have your top 3 priorities on what you feel is important that they can consider when they're doing their work sessions. Not saying for sure that that will even get allocated in FY20. It could be FY21, 22, whatnot. But this is just a good starting point for you guys to kind of get your ideas together and put a list together for them on what you feel is the most important part or item that needs to be put in to the budget or for the council to consider for the upcoming years. So.
Okay, so do these 3 packets then represent all remaining things across all parks then?
No, this
These
is
were our
just,
3 top parks we wanted to focus on.
Okay,
This go around.
okay,
Because we had a little bit of conversation around Linear Park, which is in Woodhaven, right? And then, is there anything out on any parkland assigned out in Hug Drive, that development?
No.
So nothing out in that one. But if I remember correctly, these were the 3 that we prioritized. I think we went Lost Lake, 12 Oaks, Simmer was the order we prioritized them originally.
I would say that the equipment at Lost Lakes should remain priority, in my opinion.
So let's look at 12 Oaks quick before we jump into that. Page 2 shows a little better breakdown of what's needed. A lot more earthwork to be done at that part, as well as a few other things. The cost comparison-wise is roughly the same, but it is
More labor intensive.
more cosmetic to build it up, as opposed to functional playground-wise compared to Lost Lakes.
If you look at that existing bike trail that, you know, where we stopped, and then it comes back around and bends around that pond and goes north to the south side, there's Wendy Balkenstedt has her property right there, and her property pin is actually in the riprap right next to the pond. So in order to really do anything with that, we're going to have to either take some dirt, do some dirt work around the pond and fill that in to make that trail happen, or she had mentioned maybe trading some small properties in there to make that. But that's all just discussion right now. So that's your 2 options to make that trail work. But yeah, you're right. The bulk of that is, that money is in that pond.
So comparison wise, I guess, what would you guys prefer to make the first priority?
Can we talk about intent of the exercise again? I'm a little lost, right? So, I mean, if you looked at the three projects, like 12 Oaks has Marina Cove Park, so, and what you're getting there is a shelter and a walkway and a fountain, right? And then some work on it. But like usage-wise, probably not as much as what you would get as a park or on because there's currently no park there.
I think that's why we
Did that number 1, 2, 3.
we did Lost Lake as one,
Yeah.
because 12 Oaks has Marina Cove as a park nearby, and that's also why we didn't put any equipment per se there, and really made it more usage around the lake.
And even if you did work on 12 Oaks, all the structures come as part of miscellaneous, right? Like the actual things people would maybe use come as part, and that's like the end of all the other work that we do them in order, right? Like if you were to do all the things in this sheet, you do all the pond work, then maybe pour all the concrete, but all the structures and the fountain, the things people would use, that's like the last, right? That's at the very end.
It all starts with the pond.
Yeah.
To make the bike trail work, you have to fix the pond.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And there's no guarantee of funds, so if and when you got to the stuff that people would use, it would be the very last, which could cross many, many years, right? I mean, that's a ton of money. Yeah. And then on the Lost Lake Park stuff, it's similar, right? Like all the things on this sheet, the 174K, those are all things remaining to do.
That's stuff remaining to do.
And again, you have to go in order.
Yeah, it would probably go in that order, but you'd be able to get to functional and use quicker.
2.1 faster, right?
Yeah, you get to 2.1 faster. I mean, because this top stuff is really, I mean,
In Lost Lakes, they have the trail
yeah,
done. They have
and the path is
a
all
lot of
the
that
way
stuff
through
done.
already there.
There's 12 Oaks.
Thanks.
I mean,
I talked about this a lot before I joined, so
Yeah.
this
No,
is
that's
helpful.
fine.
Thanks for
I
that.
want to get on the same page.
No, and I think Lost Lake still needs to stay as a primary. There are so many kids and young families that use that path on a daily basis. I was shocked. I mean, when it was warm out, people were on that thing non-stop every day of the week. And so the functionality use is getting there great. With all the young kids in the neighborhood, adding a park structure, I think, would be very beneficial to the area.
So the question would be, do you want to prioritize all of the Lost Lake items first?
For what's left, I think you almost have to.
Okay.
Yeah, these items on Lost Lake pretty much all surround that playground.
That one piece. So, I mean, you can't just do the first part without getting that second piece going anyways. So yeah, I would prioritize and ask for this for, it would be fiscal year 1920,
It would be 20 and beyond.
20 and beyond. So,
So prioritize Lost Lake site plan as is. And then step 2 would be, which one? Do you want to do the,
for the $2,000, I try to just get those.
well, or do you want to try and find a benefactor for those and not worry about it? Because I know
So
in the past, Kiwanis and other groups have donated money for things like that. So it would just be a matter of working with some club.
That might be a good idea to do that for the.
Yeah, Kiwanis themselves have actually donated tables, benches to other parks too,
Yep.
besides Kiwanis. So
That might be a route to go too, is to
That makes sense.
partner with them.
When would spending money from the fiscal year 20 budget actually begin then?
Our fiscal year start July 1st. So that would be
This
July
coming
1st
July
of 19.
is 19. That's a long time until those people get
Right, and no guarantee of.
And that's no guarantee
Right.
either,
Yeah.
that the funding will even be there. But it's a good start for the council to hear what is your guys' priorities while they're building a budget.
Do you, as a city, ever get things sent to you on grant opportunities for parks or something like that, or is that something you keep for?
We don't get any information sent to us.
So I think what I'm hearing is for the next proposal, all of Lost Lakes concept plan, followed by, at the very least, item 1,
Yeah.
to get the pond work going. And then you can add the sidewalk and signs and tables and things like that afterwards. And then tack this onto the end as third priority for Simmer. However, we can still actively work towards finding a partner to fund this. Does that
Yep.
sound good for everyone?
Sound good? You got what you need?
Okay.
Perfect.
Tree board is not here.
But I do have a report. Ken was
Okay.
not able to be here tonight, but he said that we just had an inch of rain and all the trees are happy. And he received a donation of a Norway spruce tree that he planted in Linear Park.
Very fun. All right. Anything from the council?
And Ron could not be here tonight
Okay.
either. So.
I don't know if you left anything.
No.
Staff report?
The only other thing to add to that is that we will continue to work on the budget. We did have one work session last Monday. That was our first work session for the FY20 budget, and we'll probably be working on another session probably sometime in December. And then we can come back and get updates as they come.
Anything from Public Works? All right. Anything from the commission? All right. Well, I would officially like to welcome Kelly as the new chairman next year,
Congratulations.
starting in January. And if there's nothing else, then I would take a motion to adjourn.
Should do adjourn.
A second. What's that?
Sorry, you didn't think you were gonna be here today.
Wasn't going to, and then schedules got changed around. I think I moved to tomorrow, so.